Earlier this month, 2 New York Police Department officers, both in their 20s, were killed responding to a disturbance call in the city's Harlem neighborhood. The suspect used a Glock 45 that had been stolen in Baltimore in 2017. The NYPD hero officers, Wilbert Nora and Jason Rivera, are being remembered by people across America who are also concerned about rising gun violence and the seeming flood of firearms across the United States. Officials in America, especially in New York City, are calling for stronger measures against gun violence and gun trafficking across state lines. As per data, in the year 2021, law enforcement agencies in America's biggest cities seized or recovered near-decade-high numbers of firearms. Several police departments have also reported the recovery of a high number of ghost guns. But what exactly are ghost guns? Well, these weapons are so called as they're untracked and untraceable firearms that are often bought online and then assembled at home. The rising flow of firearms in major US cities is worrying. In New York alone, police made nearly 4,500 gun arrests in 2021, up 3% from the year before, 2020, but a staggering 26% rise from 2019. Experts say the high volume of guns recovered comes as the country is witnessing a surge of gun violence since the beginning of the pandemic. Over 2/3 of the most populous US cities recorded more homicides in 2021 than the previous year. At least 10 cities set an all-time homicide record, and the majority of them were committed with a firearm. Gun seizures and recoveries by police departments in major American cities were higher than those in 2020. Many cities reached highs that were not seen in at least a decade. In Philadelphia, over 5,900 gun crimes were recovered by police, the highest in at least a decade. In Chicago, the number stood at 12,000, including assault weapons. Experts say an increasing number of firearms makes it difficult to track the true scope of owned guns, which makes addressing gun violence effectively even more challenging. Since 2020, gun homicides and assaults have steadily risen. The number of homicides in 2020 increased almost 30% from 2019, the largest single-year increase since the 1960s. About 77% of reported murders in 2020 were committed with a gun, up from 74% in 2019. As gun violence in the United States escalates, a Supreme Court decision this term could turn decades of gun restrictions in major cities. In November, the Supreme Court justices expressed skepticism over an existing New York law that prohibits people from carrying concealed handguns in public. If the law is overturned, activists and gun advocacy groups say the ruling could have a ripple effect across the states. The effects could include more gun violence, more firearm deaths, and more lawlessness in the United States.
Extendable start.